Alright, trying to start it was not any fun, dude. That's blowing that shit out the valve cover gasket into this breather thing. Imagine it filling up the oil again. Yep. So we got a blown head gasket. Yay. Well, at least I learned it before I put everything back in it, huh? Now, to start ripping this thing apart. Alright, working in my head gaskets. I took this thing off here. That was connected to this, which was connected to that. And this was on top of that. There were the bolts for that. So I took that off. Now I'm taking this hose off. And I'm going to take these bolts off so I can get this header off. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and remove these belts. This is a reference to remember how they were ran. We got the water pump, we got the power steering pump over to here, and we got this up to here. Take those off and take that alternator off. All right, on the back of the alternator, see we got wires jumping from here to there, from here going over to, I guess, the fuel pump relay. Here, I don't know, that's a gray, that's a yellow, there's a green, purple. We got one that's broke off right there. Don't know what that goes to, but we got all this stuff. Now I can take it off since I know where it goes. Don't know if I got this bottom black one on there or not, but I'm gonna take it off too. This is right here, connected into that and into that. Take that off. Fuel line. I took this bolt out and this bolt down here out, which those are right here. The long one, which was right here, had this motor pull, so in case that's needed. Milky. We're about to where we can get the valve cover off on this side. Wrong with it exactly. As you can see in here, I've been told that the risers can be the problem. Well, this here is the riser, and it don't look like the inside has any water contamination, as well as when you look in here, they don't really look like they have water contamination either. So I don't think the risers is the issue. However, since I already got that other side off, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. And the side, look at this side, I'm gonna take these clamps, those clamps, and these clamps loose. And then I'm gonna disconnect this and take these bolts out. Now, just so you see. All right, this exhaust manifold. Now, when you have the rust sitting down in the bottom like that, I kind of think that that's just the condensation that after it runs, it settles down at the bottom. Because, I mean, it's not wet on the inside of that, but this one here, you can definitely see how it's getting liquid in it somehow. So, I guess I'm gonna have to test the riser and all that to see if that's what's going on here. That's a lot of water getting down in the motor from just that one. This is for the exhaust manifolds. These are for the risers. I'm not sure what these three sets are for because they came out of the other box and I didn't look to see what they were for. I just kept them separated. Taking this valve cover off, here's the hose that went on that. I did notice that there's some fluid coming out of the valve cover. We'll get a look further into this. See that milky consistency? It's not supposed to look like that. The one with the little hole came off that side. This one over here with the actual oil fill came off this side. And as you see, we got plenty of milky oil. Still need to take off the intake. Take off the damn distributor, the carburetor, Now for those, the bolts are right there, and I got these two from this little mount that goes right here, and I'll just put those right there. So both sides do have water in them, so we'll see. Okay, taking the carburetor off, this right here was this pink wire was connected to that. I don't know what that was. And there is a hose on the back here that comes around, and it goes into the top of this valve cover over here. So go ahead and take that off. And this was connected up right here. I took that off, put the pieces back in it. Now I'm going to take these 4 nuts off. There's 2 over there and 2 over there. So we'll get those removed. Okay, now just to show, we got, says it's number 6. Come off right there. It says it's number 4. And it's gonna come off right here. This one here is also on that side. It says it's number 2 right there. It goes over and under off that front one. Now I come over here, number 1, which come over here, and I guess number 1 will be this front one. Number 5. This very back one. And this one here, number 3, comes off the middle one over here. So there's those plug wires. Now I can disconnect this, which goes right there on the back little peg. So let you see those carburetor nuts are right there. There's spark plug stuff, and there's the gasket for the carburetor. I'm about to take that bolt off for the distributor. It will go right next to those nuts. All right, now I got the mark on top dead center. Now I'll take it, and then we'll take these heads off. Now to get a really good look at this, because this has to go in the same place it came out of. There's a plug back here that we need to undo, and it's pointing back, pretty much almost touching that thing. And just pick it straight up out of there. Ugh, man. Okay, and I took that loose. Okay, and I took this pink wire loose from right here. I took this blue wire back here loose from right here. Now I'll take the intake manifold bolts off. Okay, the intake manifold's off. So I put them down there. Okay, now I'm this far into it. I pulled the drain plug. As you can see, it's fucking coming out there. I found out how the water was getting in the motor. I kind of feel like I need to take the heads off and just check the head gaskets, but that wasn't how the water was getting into the motor. The intake manifold was cracked in the underside of the intake manifold, and it would just pour water into the top of the motor. So I had to pull the plug, shoot this pump. It wouldn't get that water out of it. I don't see how they started this motor with the intake manifold cracked in the bottom of it like it is. Let me show you. just to show you all what I was talking about. This is the intake manifold, right? It controls where the water goes, which goes through the passages, through the heads and stuff, to keep the water, the head all cooled off. Right here, you see that? See that? And it was running for the video, but it had a bad intake manifold. Okay, on this right here, we got these bigger bolts. All those are the same size. We got 1, 2 that are different, and then you got all these smaller ones, and all of them are right there. The smallest ones are right here, and then there's 2 different sizes of head bolts that go in that part, the smallest ones being on the sides. Apparently all this stuff is attached to it. Okay, I left that one in. And these ones here, I took those 2 out and left those 2 in. But there's also a bolt back here that is also connected with this thing right there. And these 2 bolts that I took off right there, they're all going to be right there for me to find later. Just so that you see, this was on back here, you know, on the back side of the head. So I'm taking that off so I could get to it. I put the bolts to that mount right there. There's the one with the bolt in it, goes to the back side. And this here, I'm just going to keep with the risers because I don't have any spot in my box for it. There's my head. I'm try to clean it up, go soak it in some solvent. Okay, I don't know if any of you notice this or not, if any of you can see anything, but there's something here that is very bad. It's this right here. Then I can take my pick and go down in this little hole right here, and you can actually see the pick on the back side of it. And then there's fucking crack right there as well. Crack right there. Man, this engine's totaled. So don't ever buy a boat off Purple Wave, and especially if you don't ever get to look at it. But anyways, that's it. That was fun while it lasted, I guess. This really sucks, man. Unless I find a really cheap engine, which I don't want to do a motor swap. I don't want to have to do that. Never done a motor swap with anything, but you know, it being a boat, it might be a little bit easier. But this motor is no good. The block is cracked, several spots. There ain't no sense in even fucking with it anymore. Sucks so bad, man. Fuck. Like and subscribe. Maybe I'll get a different boat. We'll check it out. Sometimes things suck.